I was thinking about it all day. What's the best way I could summarize Survivor Series 2014? And I think I finally figured it out. It's that this show is the perfect embodiment of everything that is the WWE product today. Where to begin? How about with the freaking pre-show? Fandango versus Justin Gabriel. So Fandango is gone all this time, and you basically bring him back as the exact same freaking character. And then let's not even get to Justin Gabriel. You know, this was a guy that was a featured part of the Nexus, and now here he is in full-out jobber territory. What a waste of talent. And then you look at Swagger versus Cesaro. Let me get this straight, WWE. I don't care what type of excuse you tried to give with your commentators. Swagger was hurt, couldn't wrestle as part of the main event on Team Cena, but he is healthy enough to wrestle on the pre-show and beat freaking Cesaro. The same Cesaro who won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal WrestleMania 30, the same Cesaro that was once aligned with Paul Heyman. Now we've gotten to the point where Cesaro is jobbing out to a guy on a pre-show that was too hurt to wrestle on the fucking main card. What a fucking joke and a half, and what a waste of talent. Just because the WWE made the determination that Survivor Series 2014 was going to be free on the network to those that weren't idiotic enough like me to already have a paying subscription to the network doesn't give them the right to treat this like it is a free show. Part of the purpose of giving this show away for free to non-subscribers, you would think, is to attempt to entice those people that are not subscribed to sit there and say, oh my God, this is what I'm missing. It's only $9.99 a month. I can't afford to not have the WWE Network. Instead, the WWE rationalizes that the best way to kick off a free show being done as a way to try and promote additional subscribers for the WWE Network is to kick it off with a 15-minute damn Raw segment. That's right, let's give the people a free segment on a free show, so that way we say, hey, you don't need to pay for this because you get the same type of shit on Raw every week. Where all the only other thing that happens, basically, is you see that Vince McMahon is still beloved by the people, even though he's hated by many for the direction of the company and the product, and he's by far a bigger star than anybody on the freaking current roster, and that you see just how fundamentally deep the ridiculous John Cena bias is. A 15-minute segment that feels like it belongs on a Raw, that does nothing to entertain you, and all it does is continue to stack the deck against the opponents of John Cena. Therefore, doing what? Making John Cena the burden, making John Cena the freaking obstacle, and making John Cena even easier to hate than he already is. You also got a tease of a real tag team division. You had a Fatal 4-Way tag match that was solid, as a lot of the tag matches, frankly, are in WWE today. You had a couple of teams that, frankly, were worth giving a crap about. You had one character in particular in Mizdow that was really worth giving a crap about. Again, my kudos to Damian Sandow for taking something, eating shit, liking the taste of it, and then saying, no, fuck you, WWE. I'm going to spit this back in your fucking face, and I'm going to make this work, and I'm going to get this over. And by God, he did. You get, again, the tease of better things to come in the tag team division, ultimately knowing, again, that that's never going to manifest and it's never going to occur, and you will ultimately be disappointed. The WWE ultimately goes with the new flavor of the month in the tag team division, and while it's great and all to see Sandow get this moment, you've seen this play out how many times? What makes us think that it's going to be any different this time and things are going to be any better with the tag team division this time, frankly? It just wouldn't feel like a WWE show without having plenty of stupidity involving the Divas division. You've got a traditional Divas Survivor Series tag match that's way too fucking long, that tells absolutely no story, and makes Paige look stupid, look like shit. Why would you sit there and have her team basically get decimated and her sit there and have to get her ass kicked 4-on-1? What do you accomplish in your WWE? If you're going to sit there and have her try and overcome 4-on-1 and beat a couple and then lose, at least then you could say maybe we want to flip her back to babyface, especially setting up a future title match with somebody else down the road. Then so be it. I don't even like Paige. I wouldn't do this type of shit to her. Why would you sit there and do this to one of your top talents in that division? It makes no fucking sense. And speaking of things that make no fucking sense, The Divas title match between Nikki Bella and AJ Lee. Why, oh why in the fuck would Brie Bella be trying to get some HLA with AJ Lee? Why in any way would the WWE think this is a good storytelling device in any way, shape, or form, leading to AJ Lee losing her title lickety-split, literally and figuratively, to Nikki fucking Bella? You utilize these type of squashes for two damn things. Either A, to get over a heel in a monster way, or B, to get over a babyface in a big fucking way. Nikki Bella most certainly doesn't fit into the babyface category at this point, and she most certainly doesn't fit into the monster heel category at this point, making this whole booking of this match fucking ridiculous. All of this time, and all of this story involving the Bella sluts, and now we're okay, and Brie's willing to swap tongues with fucking AJ Lee for the benefit of her sister, who she's freaking basically a personal slave to right now to win the Divas title? Does it make any fucking sense? And what's funny about this is leave it to wrestling fans to bitch about them getting some, kind of mediocre hot lesbian action on a pay-per-view. Just think about it this way, guys. AJ Lee has kissed CM Punk. Brie Bella has kissed Daniel Bryan. So when AJ Lee kissed Brie Bella, it basically was like CM Punk kissing Daniel Bryan. Now, since you have that perspective, you can talk about how great and awesome it was and discuss amongst yourselves down below. And what I will say about... What I will say about Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose is that, in terms of a match standpoint, it was my favorite match of the night. It was a match where both of the characters acted and conducted themselves in a manner and in a way that fit the characters, that worked for who these guys were supposed to be. It felt like the type of match you would expect to see between those two. I have an appreciation for those type of things, so I did enjoy this match. And I will say that in this case, I was okay with it not having a clean finish. It had the right type of finish for it. But the unfortunate thing is, it had the right type of finish, but frankly to me, it was the wrong freaking Bray Wyatt match that had this finish. This finish that we got between Ambrose and Wyatt, with Ambrose hitting Wyatt with the chair, is the exact type of finish that should have occurred at WrestleMania 30 between Bray Wyatt and John Cena, but sadly did not. What's also a shame is that you have these two interesting, compelling characters, these two guys in their 20s, trying to break through that glass ceiling, both doing incredible things, trying to become big, huge future megastars that this company can build themselves off of the back of for the next 5 to 10 damn years. And we do them the greatest disservice ever by making sure that all of the writing and story heading into this match at Survivor Series completely and totally fucking sucks. At least there was an attempt to compensate for that by making sure that they would be building towards these two guys having another match at the next pay-per-view TLC, with it being a TLC match. I mean, you got Ambrose doing his Terry Funk crap, throwing chairs in the ring, bringing tables in the ring and all this shit. But then you get to the end, and he brings out this, 300-foot ladder, climbs up to the top of it, and you're like, oh my God, this could be really something. And then he just stands there. And you're just like, huh. And it's starting to get more and more that way with things involving Bray Wyatt especially. You see the potential, and you want it to be so much more, but then once it actually does happen, you're kind of like, huh. So Cesaro can't get a victory, let alone a match, on the main Survivor Series card, but the freaking Bunny can. A random match that didn't need to happen, and the Bunny gets a pay-per-view match and a pay-per-view victory. A guy in a bunny suit will get a bigger payout from this pay-per-view than Cesaro. There's nothing funny about this Dunny Bunny. So I believe it was Vince that earlier in the night referenced that the future of the WWE was at stake in this main event. Team Authority versus Team Cena. And what better way to epitomize that than by having more guys in their 40s with Kane, Mark Henry, and Big Show, 3, in this match, than guys in their 20s in 2, with that being Rollins and Rusev. What also was astounding to me is that one of the big storylines heading into Survivor Series 2014 was Randy Orton and his falling out with Seth Rollins, his falling out with the Authority. What is he going to do? What's going to happen? And then we have him taken out. And here's a perfect moment, a perfect platform, a perfect opportunity. If you're going to go there with Randy Orton on another babyface run, you're in his fucking hometown area of St. Louis. And the hometown boy isn't at home. WWE, what's your priority here? Is it movies or is it your sports entertainment product? Pick a priority. Because I would think that at a time like this, the WWE would want to do everything they can to make sure that they deliver the best possible product they can on their freaking WWE network that is so critical to the future success of the damn company that you would decide it would be important enough to take Orton off of movie shooting duty, at least for a couple damn days, to have him appear in his fucking hometown so that way he could get involved in this main event in some damn way after spending so much time in recent weeks revolving around Randy Orton and his freaking character change. You basically wasted several weeks of precious primetime television programming on freaking Orton, and you did nothing with him on this damn show. And Orton wasn't the only example on the show of wasting several weeks for basically nothing. My question is, why spend all of this time really pumping up Ryback and really building up Ryback and trying to make him not only a big deal, but perhaps the single biggest, most critical swing figure in this whole Team Authority versus Team Cena battle, just to sit there and have Ryback be the first person from Team Cena eliminated? That makes absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever. Why would you sit there and tease again that you're going to go there with this guy again, only to sit there and not go with this fucking guy again? If you were going to do this and present it in a way as if you made it seem like Ryback was the biggest threat to the Authority, and then you at least had all 5 members of the Authority and Triple H and Noble and Mercury and team up on him, beat the shit out of him, and then maybe you had somebody like Rusev pin him, then fine, so be it, because at least you have made it seem like Ryback is a huge freaking deal. Instead, you kind of half-assed did it, and like no time at all, Ryback's out of the fucking match, and you're like, what the fuck's going on here? And speaking of what the fuck's going on here, what is it with the damn WWE and their obsession with giving Big Show the freaking Alicia Fox treatment? He's a face, he's a heel, he's a face to a heel, he never left but he went here, and he's a heel, he's a face, and fucking who knows and who damn cares? You've got Big Show going from face to heel again just like that for really no freaking reason. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but the whole storyline involving Big Show and the Authority angle wasn't part of the resolution of that. Was that Big Show got an ironclad contract, and by ironclad contract that meant a contract of which he could not be terminated from, and if there was any attempt to terminate him from said ironclad fucking contract, hence why it was called ironclad fucking contract, he would have the right to sue for wrongful termination and be able to basically take Triple H, Stephanie, the WWE, the McMahon family to the fucking cleaners. So why in the fuck would Big Show frankly care in any way, shape, or form who the hell won this fucking match? Because no matter what, he was good. This is the type of lack of attention to basic details that is so fucking frustrating from the WWE today. And no, it's not just an example of me looking far too deeply into it. It's the fact that the WWE and Vince McMahon in particular lacks the professional pride to make sure they sew up the details to make sure that they all make damn sense. Because this makes absolutely no fucking sense. He knocks out Mark Henry. Why? To sell that he's on Team Cena, only that way he could sit there and knock out Cena later on and nobody saw it fucking coming? Yeah, nobody saw it fucking coming because it was fucking stupid. One of the major surprises, though, of this entire show is the fact that we all thought heading into it that this was just yet another John Cena glory shot. John Cena is going to be the sole survivor. He's going to be the reason that the Authority is no longer in power. And it didn't freaking work out that way. And what's funny is we finally get something that we could, kind of wrap our hands around. We finally get something with Cena that can be a little appealing. We get something from Cena that can be kind of likable. And that is Cena not reigning supreme at the end of the fucking night. But then you sit back and you realize that this is setting up to John Cena versus Big Show again. Because that's the last fucking thing we want to see. We've seen that enough. Not to a Cena-Orton level, but rest assured, we've seen Cena and Big Show feud enough. And part of the problem is the two characters always have the same fucking roles when they feud. You also have to keep in mind that when it comes to Cena, at the end of the day, Cena will always get it back. So not only would he sit there and beat Big Show maybe at TLC, it really has to leave you concerned about what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble when John Cena faces Brock Lesnar again. And again, this is yet another example of the WWE doing something involving John Cena that tells absolutely no fucking story at all. Big Show turning was dumb. Frankly, Cena being eliminated in this manner was fucking dumb. It was just dumb, period. Along with Cena not being the sole survivor for his team, another real, legitimate, true surprise, and perhaps the biggest single surprise of this entire pay-per-view, was the birth of Super Ziggler. Let's call it as we see it. Ziggler goes from being the guy that always gets kind of jobbed out, he's the guy that does this, yeah, but the WWE never really gets behind him, to all of a sudden now, he's the last bastion of hope against the authority. Here he is 3-on-1, and he ultimately finds a way to overcome the odds and fucking win. With that said, it's nice to see the WWE throw him a frickin' bone. They really don't have much of a choice. They need to do anything they can with anybody that they have. With CM Punk maybe not coming back for a long time, if ever, and Daniel Bryan not coming back for who knows how long, you need one of those type of guys at the top. They need somebody like Dolph Ziggler at the top right now. It'd be nice if they did more to actually develop his character and give him a character, frankly. But it's nice to see him throw him a bone. And it's nice to see the WWE throw you a freaking bone. Because, frankly, over the second half of 2014, a lot of you have put up with a lot of crappy stuff. And even some of you have tried to sit there and spin this crap to be something other than what it is, which is complete and total crap. This was a nice, pleasant, genuine surprise. I was excited about this. I like this. They put Ziggler in a good spot here. This is one of these spots and one of these moments, especially with the way it finished, that can really help make a star. But my concern is that why put Ziggler in this spot if you know you're not going to really follow up on it in a monster way? Now look, if you're going to use this as a catalyst to maybe give Dolph Ziggler a match with Triple H at WrestleMania 31, then more power to you. If you were going to sit there and have Dolph Ziggler be that new type of hero and have him go on to win the Royal Rumble and have him win the title at WrestleMania 31, then WWE, more power to you. But let's be perfectly realistic here. Based off of your history, you're not gonna fucking do that. All this was one big dick tease for Ziggler and all of Ziggler's fans, and all that's gonna happen is in a few months, we'll be lucky to see Dolph Ziggler on the WrestleMania 31 card at all. Why would you waste such a precious star-making spot on a guy that you know goddamn good and well, WWE, that you're never gonna get fully behind and you're never really gonna wanna truly make a star out of? Talking about stupidity and the way WWE develops and manages their characters, I look at Triple H and his character now as a perfect embodiment of that. Triple H, 13-time world champion. He's referred to as God by me and now consequently many thousands of other wrestling fans around the world for many different reasons, good, bad, and otherwise. The bottom line here, he's the game, the king of kings, the cerebral assassin, all of this bullshit. And with everything supposedly on the line, instead of pointing at himself and saying, I'm going to be the captain of Team Authority like you would think if we were in his position, we would fucking do. Freaking Triple H chooses people like Kane and Luke Harper. So why is Triple H going fucking ballistic? He's the one that assembled the damn team. He's the one that chose the damn team. He's the one that kept himself off the damn team. What's even more ridiculous is as Triple H and his whole posse is beating the absolute loving dog shit out of Dolph Ziggler. Where the fuck is the rest of Team Cena? Now, I understand if you're going to sit there and say, well, Big Show walked out. That's fine. Well, where the fuck is Eric Rowan at? Why couldn't he come back out and help when he had a good night? Why couldn't Ryback come out and help? Or at worst case scenario, Cena, they made sure to demonstrate that he was able to walk off on his own power in a disappointed way. Was there anything against in the rules that made it illegal for John Cena to come back out and attack Triple H, attack Noble, attack Mercury, and help out Dolph Ziggler with everything on the fucking line? Again, this made absolutely no sense. What's even more frustrating about it to me is that at the end of the day, with this storyline and the way this match finished and this show finished, it was another pay-per-view to me where God was a primary focus when it just simply shouldn't have been the case. It's like the WWE has this territorial mindset at a time where they don't need to have a territorial mindset, and they can't help from being their own worst enemy. But with all these other things said about the main event, we get to the last couple of minutes, and oh boy. For an old wrestling fan like me, what a last couple of minutes it was. Now, unfortunately, in this era of the internet and social media, and in my opinion, the WWE and the dirt sheets working in lockstep to leak this information, it was no longer a surprise to me that Sting was going to make an appearance at this pay-per-view on Sunday, probably involved in the main event storyline in some way, shape, or form. It's one of those things, you just don't get a lot of surprises in today's wrestling business anymore, and it's a shame. That's why I like back several weeks ago when The Rock made a surprise appearance on Raw and go face-to-face with Rusev. It was a legit surprise. Man, that was incredible. It just absolutely was. But even with the kind of lack of surprise with Sting coming, it was still an incredible moment, a moment in time, that while it maybe felt a little out of place, and maybe in a way it felt like something that we should have had maybe back in, 2001, it was still cool. It's one of those fits into the categories of, in my almost 3 decades now, almost 30 years of being a wrestling fan, it was truly one of those things that I thought I would never see happen. I thought it was one of those things that was always going to go into the woulda, coulda, shoulda category. And now I'm still kind of torn because on the one hand, I always had that curiosity and I always wanted Sting to come to the WWE. I thought he deserved that platform. I thought his fans deserved to see him on that platform. I thought he deserved to have a WrestleMania moment for all the great things he did throughout his career. But part of the appeal and respect I have for Sting over the years was the fact that he was one of those guys that never had to go work for Vince. That to me was part of the appeal of Sting, was that he was great in spite of Vince. He was one of those guys that Vince couldn't sit there and say that he ever had anything to do with this guy ever becoming the big, huge megastar that he did or was for all these many years. But he's here. And what a cool moment it ultimately was. It was one of those moments that professional wrestling used to give us so often and so rarely does. But god damn it all, when they do, man, you feel it. And I don't know how to describe it. The best way I could describe it is that feeling of the goosebumps running up and down your spine. That feeling of total engagement, of total almost shocked awe, as you just sit there and you're caught up in the moment. And I'll admit, for me as a wrestling fan, there are very, very, very few things that can ever engage me in that way anymore or ever again in professional wrestling. But when I heard that music and I saw Sting standing up on top of that ramp of a WWE ring at a WWE pay-per-view, that was one of those timeless moments that I will most certainly never forget. And when I sit there and he comes down and he takes his time like a real star would, soaking in the moment, allowing the people to embrace what this moment is and attempt to absorb what exactly is going on here, to feel the largesse, the hugeness of this moment. And he comes face to face with Triple H. And you just feel it, man. Again, it's one of these freaking moments. It's hard to describe, but you know it when you feel it. And by God, last night, Survivor Series 2014, in spite of all the other crap, this show still managed to give me that fucking moment. Now, the cynic in me will sit there and say, well, this is code for The Rock might not be working WrestleMania 31, so God needs a Mania match. Enter Sting, and ta-da, there you go. I will worry about that at another time. And whether or not it made a whole lot of sense for Sting to just come out of the fucking blue and engage himself and involve himself in this match in all ways and help Dolph Ziggler by rolling him over onto Rollins, did it make a lot of sense? Probably not. Did a lot of the cool moments throughout wrestling history necessarily always make a lot of sense? Not really. But again, it was one of those moments that I live for. It's these type of moments that all these years, almost 30 years later now, still keep bringing me back to professional wrestling. They still keep me a professional wrestling fan. They're the moments that reignite my passion and love for the professional wrestling business. So like I said in the very beginning of this somewhat lengthy review, when I think about Survivor Series 2014, I think about the perfect embodiment of everything that is the WWE product today, frankly. Wasted talent on the pre-show, a Raw set and Raw promo to kick off one of your major pay-per-views of the year. A tag title match with a flavor of the month winner with some solid action, but nothing that was any different from what you would see on Raw every week. A bunch of dumb divas crap that told no story, or if it attempted to tell a story, told a terrible story. You have two young blossoming stars trying to overcome the crap hand that they've been dealt. You've got random matches on a Big Four show. You've got a main event with stupid structure, terrible booking, especially at the beginning, random character changes for no damn reason, a tease of a renewed push that you ultimately feel will go unfulfilled, and yet instill, as WWE always does, they sprinkle in nowadays a little bit of good in-ring action, just enough to kind of appease you, and just as you think you can't take it anymore, just as you think you're at that breaking point, just as when you think enough is enough and it's time for a change, the WWE sucks you in by giving you that one thing that manages to keep that eternal flame of hope alive. They suck you in with that promise of more. They suck you in by saying, see, we can still do it. We can still get it right. We can still entertain you. That's what the WWE does. And that's who this company is today. And Survivor Series 2014 showed that better perhaps than any show in recent WWE history.